definitions of spanning trees I explained in the last class, right? The concept of trees is completed in the last class, am I right? So in today's class, we'll see graph traversal techniques, we'll see. Graph traversals. So how many graph traversal techniques we have? Graph traversal techniques. Two types of graph traversal techniques we are having. One is BFS and the second one is DFS, right? BFS, breadth first search. Breadth first search. And the second traversal technique is DFS, depth first search. The result of this graph traversal technique is a spanning tree. The result of graph traversal is spanning tree. Result of BFS is spanning tree and the result of DFS is also a spanning tree. Now we'll see with an example. First we'll see what are the steps or what is the algorithm to be followed. After that we'll see the example. First we'll see BFS, that is breadth first search. So this BFS traversal uses a data structure called Q. BFS traversal uses a data structure Q. Now we'll see what are the steps we'll use. So first we need to define a Q. You have to define a Q and the size of the Q. The size of the Q is equal to number of vertices in the graph. Number of vertices in the define a Q with the size as number of vertices in the graph. Second step is now you select any vertex of your choice in the graph. Select any vertex of your choice. Select any vertex of your choice as a starting point. As a starting point for BFS traversal. For BFS traversal. You can consider any vertex for traversing the graph and that means you visit that vertex. You are selecting a vertex means you visit the vertex and insert into the Q. You visit that vertex and insert into the Q. First, you have to define a Q with the size as number of vertices in the graph. Next, from the graph, you can consider any vertex as a starting point and you can visit that vertex and you insert it into the next step is whichever the vertex you have inserted into the Q, consider that vertex and visit all its adjacent vertices. Visit all its adjacent vertices which are not visited. Which are not visited and insert those unvisited vertices. Insert those unvisited vertices which are adjacent into the Q. Insert them into the Q. When there is no, suppose now here you are considering it the adjacent vertices which are not visited, right? Such vertices if you don't have, that means if you don't have any adjacent vertices which are not visited, when there is no such vertex, the vertex which is not visited, next when you don't have such vertex, delete one element from the Q. Delete one vertex or the element from the Q. We have inserted some elements of some vertices into the Q, right? So when this condition, when this third condition is not satisfied, you perform delete operation from the Q, right? And these three steps, the step 3 and 4 are to be repeated until the Q becomes empty. Until the Q becomes empty. Once your Q is empty, the last step is you can get the spanning tree, right? You can get the spanning tree. How you will get the spanning tree? By removing the unused edges in the given graph by removing unused edges in the graph. Is it clear now? First, what you need to do, first you have to define a cube with size as number of vertices. You can select any vertex in the graph for traversing, and that will be the starting point for traversal technique. Right? You visit that vertex and insert into the cube. Next, whatever the vertex you have considered for traversing, visit all its adjacent vertices which are not visited, insert them into the cube. When you don't have such vertices which are the adjacent vertices which are not visited, you can delete the element from the queue. And these three steps are to be repeated until the queue becomes what? Empty. Until the queue becomes empty. When the queue is empty, you can get the spanning tree by removing the unused edges. Is it clear? Now we'll see one example with it. Now I'll explain with an example. All of you take this graph. So this is the graph given. Perform BFS traversal on this graph to produce a to produce a spanning tree. Clear? No, sure. Now the first step is for what is the first step? You need to define a cube with the size as the number of vertices in the graph. So what can be the size of the cube? How many vertices you have here? 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a cube. Now you have defined the cube, right? Next step is consider any vertex. Consider any vertex as a starting point for BFS traversal, right? Let me consider A, right? So you visit that vertex, visit the vertex A and insert it into the cube. Consider any vertex as a starting point and visit that vertex and insert it into the cube, right? What is the next step? Visit all its adjacent vertices which are not visited. Consider all the adjacent vertices of this A which are not visited and insert them into the cube. You insert them into the cube. Okay. So you have visited adjacent vertices of this are B, E, and you insert them into the cube. So what are the, yes. These are all adjacent only. So what are the adjacent vertices? 1, 2, 3. Yes. 3 are the adjacent vertices, right? When you are inserting these adjacent vertices, you remove this. Why? Because it does not, this A does not have any new adjacent vertices which are not visited. You have inserted the adjacent vertices which are visited, which are not visited into the queue. Therefore, you can remove this A. So, you can remove this A or delete A from the queue, right? Now, these are the visited. So, A has been revisited and removed. Next step is you consider D as your starting point. Consider D vertex. Visit all its adjacent vertices which are not visited and insert them into the queue. Once they are inserted, you can remove D. Clear? Now, you have considered D. What are the adjacent vertices of D? E and A. A is already visited, E is already visited. Which are not visited, you can insert them into the queue. But you don't have such vertex which is not visited. Therefore, you can remove this vertex. You can remove D. Clear, ma? Now, what is the next vertex? E. Go to the vertex E. Visit all its adjacent vertices which are not visited and insert them into the queue. What are the adjacent vertices of E? B, C, F. B is visited, so you don't consider B. C is not visited, B, F is not visited. So visit those vertices and insert them into the queue and remove the vertex E. Remove E. Clear? Next. Now the next vertex in the queue is B. Consider B. Identify what are adjacent to B which are not visited. So for B, the adjacent vertices are A, E and C. But all the three are visited. Therefore, you cannot insert anyone, but you can remove B. Remove B. Clear? Next is C. What are adjacent vertices of C which are not visited? F, which is already visited, but G is not visited. So visit the vertex and insert it into the queue and remove. You can remove C. Next in the queue is F. In the queue, the next element is F. So what are the adjacent vertices of F which are not visited? C and G, but they are visited. So you just remove F. Remove F. Now your Q contains only one G. G does not have any adjacent vertices which are not visited. Therefore, you can also remove G. Once you remove all these vertices, now the Q is empty. Now the Q is empty. When the queue becomes empty, you can stop the process. You can stop BFS traversal. And what is the result of the BFS traversal? The result is a spanning tree. And this result is obtained by removing the unused edges. Unused edges, right? So when you remember this process, first I have visited A. After that, I have visited D. How can I reach D? Using this edge. After D, I have visited E, right? After D, I have visited E. And after E, we have B. After E, we have B. And after B, we have C. After C, we have F and G, right? And this D, E, B are adjacent. When you consider A, you have inserted these three, right? Whenever I consider A as my starting vertex, I have inserted these three adjacent vertices. So D, E, B should be adjacent with A. Next, one second. So next, when I consider E, I have inserted C. This E is inserted with respect to See, as C is adjacent to B also, but you cannot use this. Why? Because when you have inserted C, when you consider E as your vertex, you have identified this C as the adjacent vertex to E. Therefore, you can use this edge. Next, F is considered. When we have considered F at the time of adjacent vertices of E. Yeah. Now, G is considered with respect to C. Therefore, this will be your spanning tree. What do you mean by spanning tree? The spanning tree should contain all the vertices in the graph with minimum number of edges. All the vertices should be there with minimum number of edges and no cycle should form. It should not form any cycle. So here all the vertices are visited with minimum number of edges and there are no cycles. Therefore, this is the resultant of BFS, which is a spanning tree. One second, ma. Hello. Take down. ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తాను కాబట్టి మధ్యాహ్నం వెళ్తాం 2:30 అట్లా వెళ్తా 2:30 తర్వాత వెళ్తా 3 అవుతుంది ఇక్కడ 2:30 బయలుదేరుతా yes ma, you just take this graph and take the spanning tree. Have you all understood this, ma? Is it clear for you all? The next graph traversal is DFS. Depth first search. The result of this DFS is also a spanning tree. Let's see how to do this DFS traversal. So for BFS, you will be using the Q data structure. For DFS, you will be using stack data structure. The data structure used for DFS is stack. Let's see the steps to be followed. So here also you need to define a stack with the size as number of vertices in the graph. The size of the stack is number of vertices in the graph. Next step is you can select any vertex as a starting point for graph traversal, for DFS traversal. Select any vertex for DFS traversal as a starting point. Now visit that vertex, push it into the stack. Visit that vertex and push it into the stack. Now, can anyone tell me what is the difference of this second step for DFS and BFS? What we did in DFS in the second step? This second step makes the difference for BFS and DFS. First step is same. You have defined the stack. There you have defined the Q with size as number of vertices. Second step will make the difference. So here you are selecting any vertex for DFS as a starting point. Sorry, not the second point. Third point. Let me write the third point. That will make the difference. In Q also, you'll select any vertex as a starting point and you'll insert it into the queue. Here, you'll push it into the step. Now, this third step will make the difference. Visit any one of the adjacent vertex of any one of the adjacent vertex of the vertex which is visited or which is inserted into the queue. Visit any one of the vertex of the vertex which is inserted into the queue, or you can say which is on the top of the stack, which is on the top of the stack that you need to consider. Visit any one of the edge which is adjacent to the top of the stack, and that should not be visited. That vertex should not be visited. If yes, then you can insert in push them into the stack. So you will consider any vertex as a starting point. Now visit that vertex and visit any one of the adjacent vertex, any one of the adjacent vertices of the vertex which is the top of the stack. And while visiting the adjacent vertices, that should not be visited. The adjacent should not be visited. If yes, you can push that unvisited vertex into the stack. Push that unvisited vertex into the stack. When we discuss the example, then you will clear. The main difference between the BFS and DFS comes at third point. There, in case of BFS, you will visit all the vertices which are adjacent. All will come there. Here we'll be visiting only one vertex which is adjacent. Any one vertex which is adjacent to the top of the stack, you will be visiting. In case of BFS, you will be considering all the adjacent vertices. Clear, ma? That is the main difference between the two. And repeat the above step until there are no vertices to be visited for the vertex which is the top of the stack. When you don't have such vertex, that means when you don't have a new vertex which is to be visited, then you can use no new vertex to be visited. Now, when this condition is satisfied, then you can pop the element from the stack and use backtracking. You can pop the element from the stack and use the backtracking. Right? Next step is 3, 4, 5 steps are to be repeated until the stack becomes empty. Until the stack becomes empty. Now, when the stack is empty, then you can the result spanning tree will be produced, and this is obtained by removing the unused edges. By removing unused edges. Clear, ma? So here what you are doing, you are considering any vertex as a starting point for traversal. You will push it into the stack. Next, now that will be the top of the stack, right? You consider the top of the stack and visit any one of the adjacent vertices vertex which is not yet visited, and you can push that into the stack. And this is to be repeated until you find no new vertex which is to be visited, right? If yes, then you pop that element from the top and use the backtracking, and you repeat all these steps until your stack becomes empty, then produce the spanning tree by removing the unused edges. Clear? Let us see one example. One second, ma. Now we'll see an example for this BFS traversal. First step is define a stack with maximum size as the number of vertices in the graph. So now the stack size will be 7 here. So first step is what? You can select any vertex as a starting point, visit that vertex and push it into the stack. Visit the first vertex and push it into the stack. Second point, that is visit any one of the adjacent vertex. Here we have any one of the adjacent vertex which is not visited. Here, what are adjacent vertices of A, B, E, D? All the three are not visited. So you can consider any one for traversal. So let me consider B and push it into the stack. Push it into the stack. Clear? Next, now you consider B. Now you consider B, and because this whatever the step you are doing, this has to be repeated until you find no vertex which is unvisited, right? Now you consider B. Consider any one of the adjacent vertex of B. For B we have E and C which are adjacent, so you can consider any vertex. So let me consider C. Visit that vertex and push it into the stack. Now your top of the stack is C. Consider C. Visit any one of the adjacent vertex of C. For C we have E, F and G. So you can consider any vertex. Let me consider B. Visit that vertex and push it into the stack. Now the top of the stack is E. Consider E. What are the adjacent vertices of E? Consider any one adjacent vertex. For E we have D, B and F. C. A, B, C, F, D. Total E is adjacent to 5 vertices. Among the 5, A, B, C are visited. D and F are not visited. So among D and F, you can consider any one. Let me consider D. Suppose if you have considered D, visit D and push it into the stack. Now your top of the stack is D. And visit any one of the adjacent vertex of D. So what are the adjacent vertices of D? A, which is already visited, E, which is already visited, right? Now, when you don't have any vertex, adjacent vertices which are not visited, then what you can do? You can pop the element. You can pop D. You can pop D and perform backtracking. You can pop B and perform backtracking. That means, how we have reached E? You have reached E from E. By considering the adjacent vertex of E, you have reached D, right? Now you have popped D, and what you need to do, you need to perform backtracking. Perform backtracking. So you will reach E. You have reached E, which is the top of the stack. Now E is the top of the stack. Visit the vertices which are not adjacent vertices of E which are not visited. So here we have F, which is the only adjacent vertex of E which is not visited. So visit that vertex and insert into the Q. Insert it into the Q. Now consider F. Why? Because it is the top of the stack. The adjacent vertex of F which are not visited is G. C is there, E is there, but those two are visited. So you consider G and visit that vertex and insert into the Q. Visit and insert into the Q, right? Now top of the stack is G. Is there any vertex for G which is adjacent and not visited? No such vertex is there. When there is no such vertex, you can pop G and perform backtracking. How you have reached this G? I have reached G. So I have reached B from A. From B I have reached C. From C I have reached E. From E I have reached D. And from E I have reached F. From F I have reached D. Why I am using this? Just to perform backtracking, we should know from where we have come. Right? And you have reached G. From G, as there is no adjacent vertex for G which is not visited, so you can pop G and perform backtracking. That means you have reached G from F, so perform backtracking and reach F. Right? Now, is there any adjacent vertex for F which is not visited? No such vertex. Therefore, you pop F and perform backtracking. Pop F and perform backtracking. Right? You have reached F from E, so perform backtracking. Now you are at E, which is the top of the stack. Is there any adjacent vertex for E which is not visited? No such vertex is there. So again perform backtracking. Pop E and perform backtracking. How you have reached E? You have reached E from C. So you just perform backtracking. Okay. Now you are at C. C does not have any adjacent vertices which are not visited. Therefore, you can pop C and perform backtracking. C has reached from B, so go back to B. Now, there is no adjacent vertex for B which is not visited, so pop B, perform backtracking. You have reached B from A, so go back to A. Now the top of the stack is A. There is no element for A which is adjacent and not visited. So perform pop A, perform backtracking. You cannot perform. Why? Because A is the starting vertex, right? Now the stack is empty as you have popped all the element. When the stack is empty, you can stop this traversal process and produce the spanning tree by removing the unused edges. What are the unused edges here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the unused edges, right? You just remove those unused edges and perform it. Produce the spanning tree. Clear? So this is the spanning tree which contains all the 7 vertices with minimum number of edges and no cycles. Therefore, you can call this as a spanning tree. Is it clear now? Have you all understood this? Yes, have you all understood these graph traversal techniques? Okay. And the last topic in this unit is minimum spanning tree. So for minimum spanning tree, you'll be considering the weighted graphs. Weighted graph you'll be considering, and minimum spanning tree. How you produce the spanning tree, that we have seen, right? Minimum means the weight of the edges, right? Spanning tree means you'll have minimum number of edges, right? When you add the weight or the cost of this minimum number of edges, the weight should be minimum. That we call it. So to produce tree, we'll be using two algorithms to produce the minimum spanning tree. They are Prince algorithm and Kruskal algorithm, right? So Prince algorithm and means what? Prince algorithm. How you will perform Prince algorithm? So in case of a Prince algorithm, you will consider any vertex as a starting point. You consider any vertex as a starting point. Identify what are its adjacent vertices. Which vertex is reached with minimum cost or with minimum weight, that should be considered. An edge with minimum weight should be considered. Clear? Suppose if let me suppose if you have suppose if you have something like this A, B, C. Let us suppose if I have chosen A as my starting point, then in the minimum spanning tree you will have A, and for A you have two adjacent vertices. One can be reached with an edge weight as 10, one can be reached with an edge weight as 5. Among 10 and 5, which is minimum 5. So you have to consider this edge A to C and should be considered, right? And this is to be repeated until all the vertices are visited. Until you visit all the vertices. Why? Because spanning tree means all the vertices should be visited, right? Once all the vertices are visited, you can just count the weight of the edges which you have considered or which you have visited, right? So let me give you one example. After that, we'll see Kruskal algorithm. First, for Prim's algorithm, you take one example. So now we have a weighted graph, right? And remember that this should be the connected graph. The graph should be connected graph. It should be a connected graph. Yes, whatever the graph I gave you is a connected graph. So you can start producing the minimum spanning tree. Consider any vertex as a starting point. Let me consider A. Right? So what are the adjacent vertices of A? What are the adjacent vertices of A? B and C, right? B and C. Among B and C, which is minimum? 4 is minimum. Among B and C, which is minimum? 4 is minimum. Therefore, you can consider the edge A to B with cost as 4. Now you consider B. For B, 3 are adjacent. One is C, D, and E. Among 3, 9, 8, 10 are the edge cost. Which is minimum? Which edge cost is minimum? 8 is minimum. Therefore, you can reach D from B with an edge cost as 8. Now you consider D. Consider D. For D, 2, 7, 9 are adjacent, but which is minimum? C with an edge cost as 2 is minimum. Now, you consider C. For C, adjacent are 9, 8, 1, which is minimum. 1 is minimum, so you can reach the vertex F. Now you consider F. For F, we have E with edge cost as 5 and G with edge cost as 2. So you can reach G with edge cost as 2. Now for G, inko 5 minutes login out. For G, the adjacent vertices are what? F and this E. So F is already visited, so you can visit E with an edge cost as 6. Now for E, we have B, D, and F. So you have already visited B, you have already visited F, you have already visited D. Therefore, you can stop this process, right? Now, what is the weight of this? Now you can say that this is the minimum spanning tree with weight as you just add the weights of all these vertices, right? So 4 plus 8 plus 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 6. So 12 plus 2 is 14. 14, 15, 16, 17 plus 23 is the ఎందుకు వైట్ పేపర్స్ ఇప్పుడు మా మేడం ఫస్ట్ ఏం చెప్పర్లేదు. So this is the minimum spanning tree obtained by using the Prim's algorithm. Is it clear, ma? One more point is, before you proceed with this Prim's or Kruskal's algorithm, first, if there are any parallel edges and loops in the graph, you first remove them. Then only you start the actual Prim's or Kruskal's algorithm process, right? First, remove the loops and the parallel edges. When there are parallel edges, you remove an edge with highest cost or highest weight. The edge with more weight is to be removed. Suppose if you have an edge between A and B with vertex with edge weight as 10, then among 10 and 4, 4 is the minimum. So you can remove A to B. Similarly, if there are any self loop, whatever may be the weight of that self loop, you just remove them. Clear, ma? So, and the last one is Kruskal's algorithm. Login everything. So, in case of Prim's algorithm, you are considering the vertices, right? Whichever the adjacent vertex for the selected vertex is having the minimum weight, that vertex you are choosing. Like that you are visiting all the vertices. But in case of Kruskal algorithm, it is will concern about the edges. So we'll consider the edges with a minimum cost. Phone AD. Phone AD. Phone AD. 1 second. No? నువ్వు ఇందాక ఫోన్ చూసుకున్నావు కదా So we'll consider an example and we'll explain. So consider a graph for this Kruskal algorithm. A Good morning. So now this is the graph. So first step is you have to eliminate the parallel edges in the self loop and redraw the graph, right? So when you eliminate, so what are the parallel edges we have? Here we have these two are the parallel edges, so you can remove this. Why? Because this is not having less weight. This edge is having with least weight, so you can remove, and you can remove this loop also. So you just remove them. A తీసుకో గ్రీన్ లేకపోయినా పర్లేదు సీజర్స్ లేవా ఏం కాదు జస్ట్ ఇవాళ చూడు ఇంటికి వెళ్ళినాక చూడు చేయొచ్చు I have removed the parallel edges and the self loop. Then this is my new graph, right? So first step is so if you now the first step in this Kruskal algorithm is you write all the edges in the increasing order of their weights. Edges in the increasing order of their weights. Clear? So here, which edge is having the minimum weight, ma? First, the minimum value. When you observe this graph, minimum value is what? 2. So 2 edges are having the minimum weights or minimum cost. One is C to E and U to F. You need to arrange all the edges in the increasing order. So after this 2, what is the minimum value? 3. 2 edges are having the minimum value, that is BD, DE, that with 3, 3. After 3, next minimum is 4. So CD edge is having the 4. After 4, next minimum is 5. Right? So 5 then number CF edge with 5. Next 6, BC edge is having 6. Uh, 6 after 6, the next minimum weight is A to B. Kiyanunda. Next is AD. Right? So you arrange the vertices, sorry, edges in the increasing order of their weights. Now the next step is you add all these minimum weighted edges into the resultant spanning tree, such that while adding the edges you make sure that there should not form any loops. No loop should be formed. Right? In such a way you have to add the edges. So what is the first edge to be added? You have to add the edge C to E in the resultant graph. So let me add the edge C to E with cost as 2. After that E to F. Next B to D. Next D to E. While adding, do remember that there should not be any cycles. Next is C to D. Now, if I add this C to D, we have a cycle. A cycle is formed, right? Therefore, I'll not add this C to D. Okay. Next C to F. If I add C to F also, there is a cycle. A cycle will form C to F. So don't add this. B to C. If I add B to C also, cycle will form. Next A to B with 7. Next is A to D. If I add A to D, then also cycle will be formed. So these 4 edges should not be included. Now check whether all the vertices are visited or not. A, B, C, D, E, F. Now, so all the vertices are visited. So what is the definition of spanning tree? All the vertices should be visited with the minimum number of edges, and there should not be any cycles. No cycles are there, all the vertices are visited, therefore you can call it as a spanning tree. And here you have included the edges with minimum weight. Edges with minimum weight you have included, therefore it is a minimum spanning tree. Now what is the cost of minimum spanning tree? The cost of minimum spanning tree is equal to 7 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. Then it is 10 plus 5, 15, 17 is the edge cost. Clear, ma? So this is about minimum spanning tree. Your 5th unit is completed. Have you all understood, ma? What if parallel edges have list? I didn't get you. Parallel edges has list. If you have an edge, if these two, something like this, if you have, then you before you start your Kruskals process only, you are removing the parallel edges, right? So you just compare only these two edges. Among these two, which is minimum, you just remove that. I mean, which is minimum, you just include that in the graph. The one with more weight should be discarded. So you can discard the edge with weight as 3. Even though this edge weight 3 is minimum, when your weight is less when you compare with 6 or 7 or 5 or 4. But still you have to remove 3. Why? Because B2C we have more than one edge. Is it clear? 61? Okay. So this is about 5th unit, ma. Have you all understood this 5th unit? You please let me know if you have any doubts in any of the topic. Otherwise, you give me some 5 minutes of time. Actually, I didn't upload the quiz. I'll upload the quiz in 5 minutes and I'll let you know